I've always loved a ripping yarn. You know the sort of thing, tons of adventure and action. The baddies get their comeuppance and the hero gets the girl. Stuff that Jack Higgins and Alistair MacLean and Louis L'Amour did so very, very well. More recently, Tom Clancy writes those wonderful techno novels, and Lee Child's hero Jack Reacher is absolutely magnificent. But my favourite is Bernard Cornwell. His Sharp series about a rifleman during the Napoleonic Wars is historical fiction at its very best. My retirement from the workforce happened to coincide with an army reunion. Over a beer or three with some mates, someone remarked that we were now part of history. Bells rang, as they say. During my time with the infantry arm of our army, I was involved in 3 wars that are now part of New Zealand's history. The Malayan emergency in the 50s, Indonesia's confrontation with Malaysia in the early 60s, and Vietnam in the late 60s. I wondered if I could perhaps create some historical fiction based on my experiences in those conflicts. I haven't stopped writing since. The first 2 novels were written with my grandchildren in mind. This is the life the old codger led, guys. Great, just great. Most common comment, when's the next one? Next most common, I didn't realise how bloody hard the jungle was. And it was hard, believe me. But what really, really pleased me was that the ladies liked it. There had to be a love story, of course. The hero gets the girl and all that. But it seems I created a really strong character that my lady readers related to. I'm delighted. As the same characters are involved in both novels, I guess it is a sequel. But as to being part of a series, we'll have to wait and see. The first novel, Point of the Spear, is set in Malaya in 1958. The hero, John Barr, and the heroine, Patricia Masters, are 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Aren't we all at that age? Danger Close is set in Vietnam in 1968. 10 years on, John has married Patricia and they have 4 children. John is now a warrant officer, a company sergeant major in Vietnam. And Patricia is on her own, looking after the 4 children back home in Malaysia. Vietnam War was a much more serious business than either the emergency or Borneo's Confrontation. This is a totally different book. Some of it's not very nice at all. Much of it, yes, but this is a novel, remember. Lots of exaggeration and imagination. But it did happen. "45 years on, that's still debatable. But for the soldier of the time, of course, he did as he was told by his government, and he went, just as they do today. What I've tried to show is how the divisions in the country affected the soldier on the ground. Would you want to put your life on the line for the country if your country was not convinced you should do so? Definitely not. I'm not 6 foot tall for a start. What I've done is use my experience in those ranks at the time to paint the background for the fictional characters. Another reviewer used the term faction, and I like that. After Danger Close, I'd run out of wars I'd personally attended, and sort of hit the wall, you might say. A close personal friend, Brigadier General Roger Mortlock, OBE, one of this country's finest soldiers, told me if you can't go forward, go back. So I'm currently writing a novel based on the New Zealand wars. It's the first one I've really had to research, and I'm finding it absolutely fascinating. People are incredibly helpful. Would you believe I actually went to Wellington to talk the Taiaha with this nation's leading expert, the Honourable Dr. Peter Sharples. he was great. And so we're going to meet John Barr's great-great-grandfather, a colour sergeant with the famous 65th of foot, the Hickety-Pippety. He is destined for adventures amongst the cannibals and dusky maidens of 1850s New Zealand. And yes, lots of action, baddies to be sorted and lovely ladies to be rescued. Another ripping yarn for my fans.